Ah, I bet you thought Raw was next, huh? Nope, between Royal Rumble and Raw, LJN released WWF Rage in the Cage.
I'm Greg Gagne, and I'm in a rage! I want Brody, and I want him in a cage!
No, not that Rage in the Cage. Not that Gagne either. No, Rage in the Cage was released solely for the Sega CD in December of 1993. What's the Sega CD, you ask? Well, it was one of several add-ons Sega developed for the Genesis to boost the console's graphics and sounds, without coming out with a whole new system. As its name implies, games now came out in CD form instead of cartridges, and it allowed for full-motion video clips and CD-quality music to be a part of games. I heard it was moderately successful, but like the Master System, I didn't know anyone who owned one. Anyway, as its packed cover indicates, it had a huge roster of 20 wrestlers. That's more than some WWF games on later systems had. Anyway, deep breath. Bret Hart, Randy Savage, Lex Luger, Yokozuna, Mr. Perfect, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Tatanka, Big Boss Man, Crush, Kamala, Bam Bam Bigelow, Rick Martel, and 3 tag teams in the form of Money Inc., the Head Shrinkers, and the Nasty Boys. It's weird that they put Yoko, Tatanka, DiBiase, and Perfect in after they were taken out of the Genesis version of Royal Rumble. But to choose a wrestler, you had to scroll through one guy at a time. With 20 guys, it could be a real pain to find your wrestler. If you're bummed that 30% of that roster is now deceased, hey, Kamala's in the game. A big complaint of a lot of Sega CD games was the fact that most programmers took an existing title, added a few movie clips, and called it a new game. And that's basically the case for Rage in the Cage. It's just Royal Rumble with more wrestlers and a few bells and whistles. They even carried over the same profile pictures on the character selection screen. But when you highlight a character, you can see a little movie of them hitting their finishing move. The movies are in black and white with no sound other than piped-in cheers or boos, depending on the status of the character. Okay, it's not high def, but pretty cool for the time. I like how Jerry Sag's video features him nearly falling off the top rope doing his elbow drop. Great job. For the zero of you that's curious, they gave both Head Shrinkers a top rope splash of the finisher, even though Fatu's the one who did the splash. Samu's little finisher clip shows him doing a top rope headbutt, so I don't know why they didn't go with that. Maybe Bam Bam Bigelow refused to share finishers? Even though it's a CD game, it still got the same crappy computerized versions of themes during the selection screen. However, when you start the game, you actually get intros from Howard Finkel and some words from each competitor. Let's hear what Kamala has to say. Some promos are pretty decent. A lot of the wrestlers sound completely disinterested in cutting their promos.
Don't even think of trying to cheat your way past IRS.
Anyway, the gameplay is just like Royal Rumble. Same buttons, same moves, everything. Graphics aren't much different from the 16-bit versions, and yes, those grunts and groans are still in the game. As the name indicates, there's a cage match in the game. Basically, you wear your opponent down and then climb out. That's it. It's an okay option, but not much of a selling point for the game. Other than that, it's singles, exhibitions, brawl, and championship mode, so you have to beat the other 19 wrestlers to win the belt. That seems a bit excessive, especially since there's no save or password feature. What's not here? Well, there's no Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, 6-man tag, or tag matches of any kind. Yes, you heard me, there's no tag team mode, even though there are tag teams in the game. It's the silliest thing I've ever heard of. What, you supposed to take Brian Knobbs to the WWF title?
I'm back, and I'm better than ever.
I mean, I think everyone would have gladly substituted all the modes they left out for the mini-movies or sound clips. With 20 guys, you could have had some epic Royal Rumbles. And by my estimation, there are 210 possible tag team combinations and 6 million Survivor Series teams. If they had left all that in, it probably would have been the best game in the series, but ultimately falls a bit short. Since you have to buy a Sega CD system to play it, I can't really recommend hunting it down, unless the seller throws in a copy of Sewer Shark. Better off sticking to Royal Rumble or Raw, as we'll get to next time. Until then, thanks for watching, and remember, a winner is you.
Gosh, look at those pectorals.